Welcome to another video. My name is Cynthia. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. Today I want to talk about what to do when his behavior is confusing. I've had this conversation over the past week for like 3 times, and I was like, this is something that I should make a video about, because I think for many women, we don't operate the same way men do in dating, right? So when his behavior is confusing, we kind of sit and try to figure out, what is he thinking or what is he feeling, versus seeing that as a sign that the relationship is not going to move forward, it's not going to progress, and being quick to move on because his behavior is confusing. I really believe that when a man wants you, he makes it crystal clear. There is no way for you to doubt that he wants you and that he wants to be in a relationship with you. I like to think of Steve Urkel, right? When Steve Urkel was on Laura. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a bugaboo. I'm not saying he'll be like that. But what I'm saying is that he'll be very clear that he's interested in you and he wants to take it to another level, right? That he wants to be exclusive. I think in the society we live in, I think women give a lot of grace in dating. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, except for when it comes to the part where your feelings are being hurt. Because we as women usually tend to become more emotionally attached in relationships sooner than men do, right? And so I don't feel like there's anything wrong with giving grace, but I also feel like in the beginning of a relationship or in the beginning of the dating, that you should be engaging in self-preservation, right? It shouldn't be that you're just giving your all, putting all your eggs in one basket when you're dating this person. And think of it this way. Let's say you apply for a job, right? You apply for a job, it has good benefits. You go to the interview, you mesh well with the team. And they're like, HR will reach out to you. HR reaches out to you. Hey girl, hey, we heard that you had a good interview. You meet the qualification for this position. They said you did well with the team. And you're sitting there, you're like, yes, all of that's very true. I'm very excited about this opportunity. And they're like, well, we kind of need more time. And you're like, oh, okay. Okay. And they're like, we'll reach out to you. And you're like, okay. Would you sit and not apply for another job? Would you sit and not go on another interview? Would you not update your resume? Would you not do anything else to secure another position? No. You would do all of those things. If, let's say, the same company calls you and they say, oh, hey girl, hey, interview went well, but there's going to be a change, right? So initially we thought this position was going to be full-time, but it's going to be part-time. So, are you interested in that? Now, if your bills call for a full-time job, somebody may say, well, part of a job is better than no job. Like some women say, some of a man is better than no man. Don't do that. But somebody else will say, I thank you so much for the opportunity, but unfortunately, I'm looking for full-time employment. So the question is, why would you allow a man to engage in confusing behavior with you versus him being very clear on what it is that he wants? Because the example I gave, if you needed a full-time job, you wouldn't accept a part-time job. Now, some people may say, listen, Cynthia, I would just have to accept that part-time job until I started working full-time because I need something. But you know what? That shows desperation. And for many of us, that's how we show up in the dating world. We show up desperate. So like I said, for some women, they may say some of a man is better than no man. So they allow him to continue to engage in this confusing behavior. And this is so important. I want you to feel empowered as it relates to your dating, right? Now, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not a feminist or anything like that, but you have choice, okay? And so I want you to know that you can say, listen, it seems like we're not a match, and it seems like we want different things. And I think you're a great guy, but you may be more compatible with someone else. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, this man is not showing interest in me like he really desires me. And so I'm just going to end it. There's nothing wrong with that. When his behavior is confusing, there's nothing wrong with you saying, this is not the man who I want to be in a long-term relationship with. So I'll end it. You have the ability to do that. You don't have to sit back and just wait to be chosen. Dating takes two people. A relationship takes two people. And a relationship, a thriving and healthy relationship takes two people that are healthy. And you have to be able to advocate for yourself. You have to be able to know what your boundaries are and what your standards are. You teach people how to treat you. And if you teach him that it's okay for him to engage in confusing behavior, he's hot one minute, he's cold the other, he's very involved one minute, he's distant the other, he calls you a friend and says you're a friend, but then he's engaging in behavior as if you're a romantic partner, you have to nip that in the bud. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to you, right? You have to protect your own heart, right? The Bible says, guard your heart. That's your job. You can't expect him to guard your heart. You have to guard your heart yourself. Okay? So I just want to say thank you for watching another video, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.